Welcome to the Real Aesthetic Podcast, a real deal on like aesthetics and skin.
Oh, we've been rolling this whole time.
He was my gopher.
I'm your host, Alexis Arsenis. We're going to have a good time here. Hey guys, welcome back to the Real Aesthetic Podcast, a show where we talk about everything from health and wellness, aesthetics, business, you name it. I am so excited for today. This is probably going to be one of my favorite episodes. Behind the camera, as you know, is the one and only Nick Williams. We love him. And today we have a holistic nutritionist, right? That's your title. Mm-hmm. Miss Joan, I'm so excited to talk to you. Aww. I feel like I could pick your brain all day. We already started talking about some fun things. So why don't you explain a little bit about you and kind of like how you started in this industry?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me, by the way. So I got involved with nutrition when I was very young because I was pretty sick growing up. I had a lot of ear infections, so we call it the pink stuff in the refrigerator. Mm-hmm. So I had a lot of antibiotics. I was born half deaf in my right ear.
Okay.
And then I had a lot of IBS, but no one knew what that was, this was in the 60s. So we didn't really know what all that was. So everyone did what they could, but I always was bloated, and I'm like, okay, this is it. But I was an athlete, which I think helped. So it moved my blood around a lot. Played a lot of tennis. I went to college with tennis back in the day. 79, 80, a long time ago. But how I got involved as a career in this, I've always loved it. I've always loved it. But when I was sick, I was at UMass Amherst. That's where I went to school. And I never knew there was holistic health anywhere.
Yeah.
But I walked down the street and I went, what is that? So it was kind of like a nature food center the way back in the day.
Yeah.
So I walked in and I went, what is this? So it was really great. My major was biology anyway and forestry.
Really cool.
So I always loved
and forestry. That's interesting.
Yeah, the science behind it and basically living outside.
I love it.
So that's my kind of background with that. But then I started applying a few things back in, a long time ago. And I went, I actually feel better. I wonder what this is. But I do give a lot of credit to my father. He had asthma all growing up. Mm-hmm. But he had an inhaler and he never used it. He drank apple cider vinegar and honey every morning.
Yep.
I mean, this was a long time ago. And he goes, nope, this is what you do. And he did it. And I went, really, Dad? He goes, yeah. So we would buy all those little books and bring them into the house. And we just loved it. Growing up, there's 5 kids in the family. And how we grew up was we had to read the encyclopedia. We would get one a month and we better read it because he would quiz us. That's
so crazy.
But it was fun. Everything was a game. So even in my own practice, you make it fun.
Yeah.
Because health is obviously extremely important. Mm-hmm. And then I found that so many people were sick, and I went, oh. And then I had my first child. My son is 37. So when I had Ben, I went, I better figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
So I met really cool people, and little by little, I learned how to do it.
So you had your son and you're just like, I want to do nutrition. Was it just something that were you still suffering with IBS symptoms at that point?
No, I was much better, actually.
Okay.
That's a good point. No, so I have 3 children. So when I had him, I just realized that I better find out more about this because I want to feed him. Even then, I mean, he was born in 1988.
Yeah.
I said, this is how I want to feed my children. Mm-hmm. So, and there was no internet.
Yeah.
It was called the library. And learning from other women. I met a lot of cool women along the way. Every nationality had something to share with me. And I just kind of compiled it, got some nutrition counseling, teaching, and opened my practice, Best Fit Nutrition, about 20 years ago.
That's amazing.
But I practiced for free for about 10 years. The neighbors.
I feel that.
Those people, like, oh, can you help with this? Yeah, bring them over.
Yeah, I'm the same way with skin. I feel like people are like, I have this problem. Like, yeah, just do this. It will work out fine. And it doesn't pay your bills, but at least it makes people feel better.
Exactly.
So how did that transition from you doing it for free to being like, okay, now I need to start charging people for this? And how did that kind of start?
Oh, that's a really good question. So I decided to make it my full-time career because people were so sick.
Yeah.
And my goal is just to help as many people as possible. That is the goal. Even now. But it's very practical. I'm a very practical person. It's not 10,000 things. It's not you have to do all this stuff. It really isn't using food and herbs as medicine.
Do you do a lot of testing? So like GI maps and stuff like that?
That's a good question. I do zero testing.
Oh, wow.
I don't run any labs whatsoever. I could make a fortune doing it.
I was going to say, I mean, we run labs downstairs.
I run no labs whatsoever, and I'll tell you why. So they bring all the labs in. They bring the FODMAP. They bring, all the, I'm allergic to whatever. The reason I don't do it is because when they bring it in, it's what they eat. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, obviously, and plus I teach my people how to read their own body. I read the body.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, actually, you don't have that. You have this, don't you? Did you get that when you were a kid? They go, uh-huh. Mm-hmm. That's your problem. I go to the root cause of it.
I think that's where health is starting to really go, especially with the whole like political climate right now. Everyone's talking about the root causes of things versus I feel like medicine is a Band-Aid. I say this downstairs all the time with acne. They go to their dermatologist and they're like, here's, Accutane, Tretinoin, and all these things. And that's just treating the symptom, not really the cause of the problem. And I love people like you that are like, hey, listen, it has to do with what you're putting in. It has nothing to do with all of these expensive things that you're doing on the outside. So I like that approach.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been extremely effective. Mm-hmm. I've treated about 2,500 people myself.
That's amazing.
And yeah, it really, and families, I treat, when I get one, I get them all, I get the whole family. Yeah. And usually the mom will come in. I treat a lot of men too, but the mom will come in, if she has children. And then they'll always want to talk about their kids.
Yeah.
Whereas
exactly.
It's just the way it goes. So I go, you know what, let's kind of put the mask on you first. Let's clean you up a little bit. And then next time you come in, bring one of your kids.
How do you feel about parasite cleanses and parasites?
Do it all the time. Everyone's loaded with parasites.
Yeah, I don't understand this whole, the U.S. doesn't have parasites
I
thing.
know.
I don't really understand it. Yeah. I do my kids once a quarter. I treat them.
Oh, good for you.
But we live on a farm, so like they're in like duck and chicken all the time. So I feel like I should be treating them a little bit more. But I'm so surprised, even with the moms downstairs, they're like, I've never done a parasite cleanse ever. And I'm like, well, your skin's telling me that you probably should.
Yeah.
So how do you go about that? Do you have herbs at your practice that you're giving out? Like, how does that, and supplements there? But you said you don't supplement a lot.
Some. It depends what they need. I never, if they're from a foreign country, which I literally treat people from all over the world.
Yeah. I
have people literally in Lebanon, like we do Zoom. England, Portugal, Barcelona, all over the place. And America, obviously. But I don't really talk to the Americans like that because they don't understand it. And the doctors can only test for 4 or 5 of them. And they go, oh, you're clean. You don't have a tapeworm. You're good. And it's just the way it goes. But I have in my intake, I have a questionnaire for them. And if they fill it out, they score a 90, I know they have them. But I don't do it first because if I do that first, I consider that, shaking up the pot too quick.
Yeah.
And the body doesn't like that. The body likes to feel peaceful and quiet. And then you can heal it. So that's what I do. The first thing I do is get them hydrated, breathing, relaxed, owning their own self. They're going to feel better in 2 days. And then we go a little bit further with that.
How do you feel about with water? Because I feel like everyone is drinking bottled water, and which is not the best for you with all these microplastics and stuff. So are you teaching them to use more glass? Are you doing the hydrogen water? Are you talking about reverse osmosis filters? What's your water philosophy?
You're right. I mean, plastic is out.
Yeah.
No one should be drinking from plastic. And when I was growing up, even cans, when you growing up, you'd drink, I don't know, Pepsi or whatever people drink. And you could never crush the can.
No.
Even I can crush a can now. What is that? They're making it so thin that is leaching into that product. Mm-hmm. The aluminums, the microplastic, all that kind of stuff. And the water bottles, you can crush them. Children can crush them.
And I'm sure with the temperature differences too, but you're not getting it packaged and it's sent to you right away. It's in that bottle.
And it sits in the truck.
Changing temperatures consistently. So I'm sure there's things leaching from the product
no
just
question
from the temperature
about it.
changes.
There's no question about it. So I tell people, don't do that. You have to meet people where they are.
Yeah.
If they love doing it, that's not the first thing I go after.
Do you kind of tell them if you want them hydrated, listen, I don't care how you get water right now. I just need you to get hydrated.
It depends who it is. 99% of the people walk in knowing I'm going to switch their water.
Okay.
So they're pretty good. But if they're not comfortable, it's okay. They have to be comfortable. And that's how they're going to get well. So what I do tell them, if you have a whole house filter, great.
Yeah.
If you can get is a Brita fine? It's fine enough. It's better than tap water.
That's true.
And that's just the way you have to do it. But I always make them put lemon in their water.
Okay.
Never drink plain water, ever. Because
Do you say no cold water too?
yeah, it should be room temperature or warm.
Okay.
Because the body can absorb that. But if they chew ice, I know they're low in iron, so I don't tell them that. But I'm like, okay, you chew ice. You like things really cold. If that's the case, then they have low iron. Their ferritin's too low. So we don't do that yet. At first, we just have to get the person quiet. So water is huge, and breathing. Nobody breathes. No. You take a deep breath and go, oh my God, I feel like I went on vacation, right?
Yeah.
So you need to be hydrated and breathing. Those are the two things the human body needs. Food is after that, actually.
So when it comes to food and diet, where do you stand? Like, are you more like on the carnivore side of things? Are you more like on the vegan side of things? Like, where do you lie in that?
Good question. Both.
Oh, okay.
It depends on the person. It depends where they gain their inflammation. We call it our fat. We call it inflammation
Love
in
it.
the office, okay?
I hate to interrupt, but I thought, remember, I saw Joan a few weeks back, and you were talking about putting pink Himalayan salt in a lot of different things.
Water.
And those little crystals that people use as night lights, I thought that's what that was.
Oh,
But like I thought that was a
cute.
Himalayan salt chunk that she has in her hand right there. But no, it's a pound of fat. Sorry,
I do
continue.
with my Himalayan salt. That's funny. I love it.
That's what I thought it was until I tried to move it earlier to set it up the right way.
It's got some fat.
Yeah,
It's my
gross.
fat.
I love that though. It's crazy to think that that's like the volume size of fat. People don't understand like how much it actually is. I think when they're like, oh, I gained a pound, I'm like, do you really know what that looks like?
Yeah. And it depends where the body is gaining the weight. That is the big deal. And by the way, this is, I have this on my desk all the time.
Yeah.
And the little kids come in and they see the red.
Yeah.
So they go, I said, don't pick my blood. Stop touching that. Just mess with them a little bit. But blood doesn't go through fat. It doesn't go through inflammation. So it has to go around. That's how people get high blood pressure. Mm-hmm. That is the number one way they get it. You bring down the inflammation in the body, the blood pressure heals.
And I think especially with like pregnancy and everything, everyone's put on blood pressure medication so quickly versus like.
Which was never the case when I was pregnant with my kids. No one did that.
I think that, pregnancy when you had your kids was so different than it is now.
I know.
And it's scary because birth has really turned into more of a business. It's, doctors get paid roughly 15% more for C-sections than they do a vaginal birth. And the interventions are what add on to that money, add on to that bill. So I think that this high intervention rate is what's making things not so good for that baby when that baby comes out, because it's supposed to go through a process to get here.
Right.
So it's really wild, the differences between when you had your kids to us now.
Everything has changed so much and so quickly.
It's a little scary.
It kind of is, but people are waking up.
I know.
I
It's
think
beautiful.
COVID was obviously really hard for everybody, right? It had a whole bunch of different layers to it. But one of the blessings is it woke people up. Like, what is happening here? Why am I getting so sick? What's happening? And people are waking up, which is really great, and they want to get well. They don't want to be on a lot of medications. Medications are a Band-Aid, though. Like, if you need a little bit, okay. But it's not supposed to be forever.
No, it was never built to be
it was
a
never
chronic
built.
problem. It was
Right.
supposed to fix an issue and then you move on. But the problem
exactly
is that this society today is chronically ill, and it has to do with what they're eating and what their lifestyle.
The lifestyle, yeah. It really is. Food and herbs are medicine. They really are. But
I
people
agree.
don't know what to do. So they've tried, and you go on the internet and there's 8 million different things, and everyone says something different.
Absolutely.
So those are my favorite clients, by the way. When they come in, they're like, what's going on? I've tried everything. I went, great. Let's try practical. How about you go to Market Basket? I'll show you how to shop there. Things like that. Very practical, cost-effective. You don't have to be rich to be well. You really do not. But there are ways to do it. And first you have to hydrate the person by putting lemon water for sure.
Okay.
I give them usually 20 ounces 3 times a day.
Can you dig a little deeper into the lemon thing? Because as a person who is not a fan of lemon water, can you explain to me, Joan, why you need the lemon? Like, what does the lemon do in the water? Like,
Okay.
why is plain water bad? I don't understand.
Okay, great. Perfect. So plain water flushes out the electrolytes and potassium in the body. So you'll start craving more sugar. You'll urinate all the time. You'll wake up at night. For instance, if you have to go, like you go to the store, you go to your kid's school, you go anywhere, and you have to find the bathroom because you have to go to the bathroom all the time, It means all you're doing is flushing your body all day. That is not what you should do. Your urine should always have a little bit of a hue of yellow in it. It shouldn't be this color,
Yeah.
but it should have a little bit of a hue. That means your kidneys and your bladder are working optimal. So what lemon does, it takes the water and puts it into the cell as opposed to around the cell.
By making it more acidic.
Yep. So so that goes into, actually lemon goes in acidic and turns alkaline. So it goes into the cell and now the cell is hydrated. So you can drink 20 ounces and not urinate for 2 hours and go,
really cool.
what is happening here? It's because now your body's absorbing it. And that's the goal, right? You want to absorb the water. Even kids, their water bottle, especially. That's how Gatorade, by the way, was invented. That's how Gatorade was invented.
Just reading a thing on Gatorade and these like salt-based products that they were meant when they were initially made was like for soldiers or for like athletes to get like a quick boost. It was never meant for people to drink like consistently throughout the day because the salt content actually isn't good for you throughout the day.
Right. It's not the right kind of salt. Pink Himalayan and Celtic salt is the only salt people should use.
Do you find a brand that you like better? Because I know Celtic salt, like the blue one that everyone's been using forever, had just been testing, just came back that there was heavy metals inside of it. So how do you know as a consumer which brand is the better brand?
That's a good question. And, they're always messing with everything, which is really annoying. Yeah. But I use pink Himalayan salt more than Celtic.
I do too.
And I have this one over here, use the one that's granular because you get more in it. Okay, so you really can buy it places. Oh, it's got this and that in it. It will hydrate you. So I tell people, don't overthink it.
My kids literally take it and put it on their tongue. They think it's like pink candy. They like put it on and like, Mommy, this tastes good. I'm like,
so what pink Himalayan salt does is it's a mineral. We are completely low in minerals.
Absolutely.
It's trace minerals. Honestly, I would say maybe, 15, 20 years ago, I would give people trace minerals.
Yeah.
Thorns has a really beautiful one, but you don't need it. You really don't. If you put a half a teaspoon or more of pink Himalayan salt in that 20 ounces of water, you will get all that you need. You'll be hydrated and you'll feel grounded. So here's the test. So I tell people, we live in New England.
Yeah.
We have the beautiful ocean. I said, so do you feel better when you're near the ocean? Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I said, even just thinking about it, I feel better. How about even gross seaweed? Yeah, I love the smell.
Yeah.
It means you're very low in trace minerals.
That's so interesting.
That's how you know. And they go, so in my office, I have, a little taste test. I said, put some in your mouth. Of course, it's going to be salty.
Yeah.
But how do you feel? You'll feel more grounded. That's how you do it. I have people that do a teaspoon to a tablespoon. It depends on what they need. By the way, this actually heals high and low blood pressure.
Do you recommend doing salt and lemon in water together?
Always.
I was going to say, because that's that's literally all I drink at home.
Always. That's what you should do. Some people, I put ginger in it if they need it.
Yeah, I was going to ask that too.
Ginger juice, aloe vera juice is a big thing we use in the practice. If they have backed up fecal matter, just use some aloe in that. Everything will be better.
Really? I didn't know that about aloe.
Aloe's amazing.
I have so many aloe plants at home. I'm like one of those crazy plant ladies.
Well, if you have aloe plants, you know how you can scrape it?
Yeah.
Like say we're in Colombia, right? You can scrape it, put it in a blender with water. Yeah. That way it's user-friendly because who can drink chunky things? Gross.
Yeah, no, I couldn't drink it.
But it's got to be nice and thin.
It's like slimy too. The texture's like
that would
really,
be very hard to drink.
Yeah, it's like really gross. So I can't imagine drinking it like that. But I feel like in the blender with some water.
Yeah, blend it way down. That's really
cool.
And if your kids are craving salt, if they're licking salt, that kind of thing, I tell the parents, put a little container of salt. Maybe if they're like 4 and older, like on the table, or maybe if they get their own little container.
Yeah.
And then you watch to see how much they need. If they're really stressed out, they'll take it all. And now and now you know they're stressed out. That means they need to take a deeper bath and they need to go to bed earlier. They will actually sleep better with salt.
Yeah, my kids love, I think it's just because it's pink, because I have 2 girls. So I think that it's just like pink
So
and
cute.
it looks like candy, so they think it's like really cool. But I put Epsom salts in their bath at night, like every single night. And they won't take a bath without putting salt in it. But now they want to put the pink salt in it because it's pink.
Okay.
So I was like, I don't know if there's benefits to putting it in their tub, but like, okay.
So cute.
Yeah.
There isn't, but you know what you could add to that? A woman taught me this years ago, and it's genius. Put baking soda in there also.
Real? Why?
How much Epsom salt do you put in for the kids?
1 cup.
1
To their
cup,
cup.
and they're both like in there splashing
Together.
around.
Yeah.
Great. Put in 1 cup of baking soda because baking soda is completely alkaline.
Okay.
So now
how do you feel about alkaline water though?
I
Because
do not enjoy it.
Because I think that
You should not be drinking
does it
alkaline
make?
water.
I feel like it doesn't make much sense because when you drink, it's not going to stay alkaline when you digest it.
Right.
Once it hits your stomach.
Your body knows how to balance itself. We're overthinking the whole thing. And remember, this is a huge market.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
this
going to
is
tell
a
you.
ton of money. Your body knows what to do. You just give it what it needs, and it knows how to fix it permanently.
That's so amazing.
Permanently, yeah.
So how did you fix your hearing? You're saying that you were deaf and now you're
Well,
in
I was half deaf in my right ear,
and now we're not
I am definitely not.
with no medical intervention.
None. They couldn't figure it out. And I had
Was it just reducing inflammation?
yep, and I am the woman that's had so many miracles in my life.
I
Truly.
love that.
Yeah, I really have. It's really it's amazing actually.
I
Yeah,
love
even
that.
my father was like, "You're like a walking miracle." I went, "I know, none of you know."
I feel like we're honored to have you here. This is like the
I have
crazy.
been saying this for weeks.
Yeah.
Like
So I felt
I'm
so
like
bad.
almost in tears back here. It's so cool.
It's so interesting to meet someone who, I mean, I went down the route. I've always had a problem with food. Food and me have never had a good relationship. I was a figure skater. I was an athlete. I feel like always cutting weight. I grew up with my mom being always on Zoom pills. That's what she would call her diet pills.
Oh, got it.
So it was always this very negative thing about like gaining weight and food and always on these like, I mean, I was addicted to Adderall for the longest time because it was just because I wanted to cut weight. It had nothing to do with, it had to do with eating. Like it wasn't my attention. I just like didn't want to eat. Coming out of that and like really focusing on what we're putting in our bodies and like food isn't always a bad thing and getting over that. It's cool to meet someone that also uses food to like heal things because if I didn't have a better relationship with food, I probably wouldn't be here now because I just was so sick for so long. And I think I just took it to the next level by like having my own farm because I don't trust the system. I have a very like love-hate relationship with our food system.
Yeah.
So like growing things myself is really like what I enjoy doing. Are you a big gardener? Like do you do everything? I love it.
Yeah, I've always been a gardener. Yeah, I mean, I don't grow all my food. You know what I do have? I have a hydroponic tower. I have 2 of them.
I love
It's
them.
amazing. They're absolutely amazing.
I
Yeah.
have 3 of them in my kitchen.
Really?
Right now. Yeah. and then I have
they're unbelievable.
seedlings everywhere.
They just grow by themselves. It's wonderful.
Yeah. So how do you feel about the argument where people talk, and I see this a lot online and I've looked into it, is like how spinach is and are high in oxalates and how these vegetables really aren't that good for you. How do you feel, like what's your take on that?
Good. Yeah, they are. They're actually high in oxalates. It's called balance.
Okay.
So I tell people if you don't like it, don't eat it.
Okay.
If you don't like it, because that's why everyone is so different. Everyone comes like you, right? Everyone comes from somewhere different.
Yeah.
This is where I grew up. This is my food. I was sick. I wasn't. Whatever.
Yeah.
It depends where you gain your inflammation on the body. That's what we call our beautiful fat. We call it inflammation. If you gain it in the stomach area mostly, then you have an adrenal issue. You live in fight or flight. Your body lives in fight, like things that affect that body type. Noises, people chewing the wrong way. Stop breathing so hard.
Oh my God,
Snore literally me.
You're describing me. I'm sitting here going, I'm inflamed, very inflamed. Okay.
Snoring, stupid drivers. I need some salt. I need sugar after I eat dinner.
That's a Nick
coffee,
thing.
coffee, coffee to wake up in the morning.
See, I hate coffee.
That sort of thing. Like that person lives in fight or flight. They're always on their mind. That kind of person gets a lot done, but that person has a lot of sleep issues also.
Yeah.
They usually wake up between 2 and 4.
Yeah, every day.
Bing, kind of thing. Like, what? Even if you take, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
You go, why am I awake? It's because your body isn't grounded. That's why. So you can change that. I'm a recovered adrenal body type. I can slip right back into that if I keep going, but I know if I'm not grounded.
How do you alleviate your stress to not be in that fight or flight? How did you do that?
Food
Really?
and herbs. Definitely prayer. I pray a lot. I exercise a lot. I love it, but I only do what I like. I just do I'm 62 years old. I just do what I like.
I mean, you look amazing.
Oh, thank you. I feel amazing. I really do. But I feel like people, they go to the gym, they kill themselves. And I said, well, what do you like to do? I actually just like to walk. Then that's what you're going to do. We're going to walk for a little bit. But it's just, there's so much noise. That's why people are so confused. I have to go to the gym. I have to do this. I have to do that. If you don't like it, don't do it.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to rev up your body. Your body can only heal when it's quiet. It cannot heal. If it's living fight or flight, it can't. I mean, you can lose all the weight, but you'll gain it all back in 10 pounds more. Right?
I think that's what people's quick fix for that right now is the big rave, especially with med spas, is like semaglutide, these GLP-1s that people are taking that are going to fix their insulin resistance or, oh, I love that you're like shaking at this already.
Yeah.
So I think that that's their quick fix. And the second they stop it, they're like, why did I gain the weight back?
I know.
And I'm like, well, you didn't solve the problem.
Right.
You just put a Band-Aid on it and you're still eating like crap. Like you're still craving the sugar. Like that's your problem. Do I think in some ways though, I do think they are net positive because I think a lot of these people, and you can agree to disagree, but I think that a lot of people try these diets and they see no result because they don't get to the point where like their body starts to change and then they give up and they go back to their old habits. I think that some of these medications kind of help people get results a little bit quicker. And then hopefully their provider they're working with is really teaching them more lifestyle changes. And then the results will last. And it's like a net positive in that direction where they're seeing results. It's like, okay, I'm totally going to listen to this provider. They're going to tell me what to do and I'm going to do it. And that's great. But that's not the case with most people. You know, most providers are just like, here you go. So do you have a lot of people that are on those medications?
Not for long though.
Okay. Are you telling them to take like, what is it? Like yerba mate is like another.
I don't do any of that.
I know. I'm moving my head.
No, I said yerba mate.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
No, I don't do any of that.
Okay.
What do you do?
It's very simple.
I know. I'm like, what? Nick's like, what do I do?
What do I do?
It's very simple.
Heal me.
So there really are 4 basic body types of everyone, and you can be 1, 2, 3 of them. Okay.
Okay.
The adrenal one. So they say, where do you gain the inflammation? Where do you gain the fat? This is not the issue. Fat is actually our friend. We don't like it, but it is our friend. It's protecting an organ or a gland. That is the job. So if you take the fat away without healing the organ or gland, that's why it comes back, because you never healed the body from the root cause. So can I tell you a quick story about my mother? Oh, so funny. So I was thinking about it on the way here. So I was watching TV with my mom. I was like 7 or 8 years old. And it was just her and I. And they had the commercial, either it was commercials, you know, when you had to turn the TV, you know, the channel, right? You had to actually get up.
Yeah.
No more clicker. We had, it was like either World Vision or Compassion International, you know, the kids from Uganda are, you know, horrible. And they're starving to death, you know, feed the children, right? And I said, Mom, if they're so, you know, sick and dying, Mom, why is their stomach so big? And she looked at me, remember there's 5 of us, I'm in the middle, of course. And she went, you always ask these weird questions. I'm like, she says, I don't know.
Why are they bloated?
I said, why is that? Why is their stomach so big? But then I figured it out. When I was in college, I went, because I had IBS. And I went, oh, okay. The body robs Peter to pay Paul. So the body will pull inflammation, nutrients, blood, enzymes from the other organs to protect. Because if the heart is gone, you're dead. Right?
Yeah.
So it pulls all the inflammation to protect the heart. That's why all the inflammation is there. That's why there's skin and bones. If this starts to go thin, then that's when they're going to pass away. That's how you know. I am very fun at a party, by the way.
I was going to say, I feel like I mean, I would love to be with you at a party. Like this is, but you're like my type of people. I think that a lot of people that I work with downstairs think I'm like some crazy conspiracy theorist, which maybe that's true. Nick probably will be like, yep, that's Alexis.
I think it just depends on the subject, but go ahead.
Yeah, it just like kind of depends. But I think that when you meet someone that feels the same way about food, it's so cool because no one really understands that whole lifestyle. They just think like, oh, I'm going to go to Whole Foods and it's going to be healthy and I'm going to eat these granola bars. And I'm like, ugh.
Right.
Like I just don't do that whole thing.
Do you want me to run you through a plan?
Let's do it.
All right. So let me run you through. So let me tell you the 4 body types.
Yeah, give me that.
Okay. Remember, they're always an organ. So there's the adrenal. The adrenals are, you know, do you know where your adrenal glands are?
Yes.
Okay. Most people don't even know they
Well,
have
for
them.
people that don't know, can you
So you
explain?
have, I always tell women, where your bra strap is, that's where your kidneys are. Right above that, you have two little adrenals. They're not connected to the kidneys, but that is your fight or flight, right? So say your kid's going to get hit by a bus. You're like, oh my gosh. You run out. You hold the bus because you're powerful now, right? Your adrenals kick in. You grab your kid. Everyone in the bus is, dead, but your kid's alive.
Yeah.
Right? And then you come down. Most people stay up there. And when you gain the inflammation, it's all in the stomach area. I'm so bloated. And then you get what they call the fat pad on the back because now you're leaning over because your spine is trying to pull back this fat. It's the older we get. It takes years, by the way, to do this. Unfortunately, now kids are so sick. It is horrible. Like a third grader can have an adrenal issue now. That was never the case, by the way. Never the case.
I think that's also because parents project their stress on their kids. I think it's a parenting problem.
Definitely.
Too. Not to cut you off, but
yeah,
I think that's a
it's really
parenting
true.
problem.
And they, because they don't know what to do. They're hearing 8,000 different things and they really don't know what to do. Mary does this and Susie does that. What am I supposed to do? The other one is the thyroid issue. Okay. So one way you know you have a thyroid issue, your body temperature changes. I'm very cold. My hands and feet are getting colder. I'm thickening up all over. My neck starts to get, you've seen people that have lines across their neck. That is the number one sign you have a thyroid issue. Number one.
Really?
Yep. When your neck starts to thicken up, it should be thin, it should not be inflamed, and it should have no lines across it. Now, can you fix it? You really can. So I tell my women, I said, go home, most of the women. I said, go home, don't show these, take pictures of yourself, because in 6 months, you're not going to have any more lines. And they go, really? I said, permanently, you're not going to have lines. And they go, okay. It's really fun. Even if they're on medication.
Yeah.
So by the way, I don't take anyone off a medication or put anyone on. I said, just go work with your doc. I work with a lot of medical doctors. I've treated a lot of them. One of them, I actually taught what I do. And I said, no, stop sending them to me. You can do this.
Yeah.
Because she was like, I'm so much better. I said, then go ahead and do it. I said, here's a couple things and do it. So she's having a great time. Downtown Wellesley. It's awesome.
I love that.
So thyroid, you get, bread, pasta, cereal, crackers. You love carbs. That's the thyroid one. Sluggish, my energy's lower, and you're thickening up all over.
Okay.
Right? That's the thyroid. The liver one is you start to get inflammation from the chest over. We used to call it the beer belly, but I call it the shelf.
Yeah.
Because not everyone drinks beer.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was only men that actually had that.
Now women, a ton of
women
have
definitely had it. So in 1 week, I had 2 women walk in. I went, what? This was about 17 years ago. 18 years ago. I went, what? 2 of them. The inflammation gets here. So the liver is, it's the size of a football. It does 500 things at the same time. It is super forgiving. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You can completely regenerate it. I said, if they burp, they belch, they're craving fried foods, anything like that, greasy foods, anything. They crave it, but they can't, the body doesn't like it. And they start to feel very inflamed, very sluggish with that body.
Yeah.
They have little tiny red dots on their chest or on their body. The minute you see one of those, your liver is starting to activate. And if they don't have a gallbladder, which people don't, some people, I always ask people, I said, do you have a gallbladder? And they go, I hope so. I said, you would know.
I hope I have
right.
one.
If they haven't taken it out, honey, you probably have gallbladder.
Yeah.
If the gallbladder gets congested, right? Oh, I had my gallbladder taken out. It's the liver. They never test the liver. They go, oh, your liver's fine. No, it isn't. It's just not working optimal. But there's so many ways to clean it, by the way.
What's like your go-to way?
Apple cider vinegar.
That's like the dream for everything. I feel like I use apple cider vinegar for literally everything.
I lived on it my entire life. If you're craving sour foods, sour things, it means your liver needs to be cleaned. That's what that means.
How do you feel about like fermenting like garlic with honey for people that are sick?
Everything is that's really great. For people that are sick, if you use a manuka, that would be a little bit higher level.
Yeah.
So for people that have sugar cravings, I tell them they can have no honey.
Really?
No honey, 1 month. Nope, I don't tell them a month. I said, until we see you again, about 2 weeks. Because it'll just turn on the inflammation again, and now the craving turns on. We haven't really, I call it the elastic. You know how it's really tight?
Yeah.
You have to keep pulling it back. And then all of a sudden, it doesn't snap back as easily.
Yeah.
And pretty soon, it doesn't snap back at all.
See, I
And-
never have sugar
And
cravings.
it can't be
I
about
just like
discipline.
honey.
It can't be about discipline. No one has discipline.
No.
I
And
have,
it can't-
I have so many questions about the sugar thing.
Yeah.
If you
Why
wanna,
don't you
like-
ask some questions?
Well,
I think it'll be beneficial for the episode.
I'm just, I have always my entire life, like part of the reason that I'm the large individual that I am, hey, you can't really see me because the
That's
computer's
all
in the way, but part of the reason that I'm as large as I am is because I was always told growing up that you can't have dessert unless you finish what's on your plate. And then my parents would try and, I don't want to say trick me, they're great parents, but they would give me seconds on things to get me fuller so that I wouldn't have sugar.
Okay.
And that didn't work. I just ate more and then was like, now pass that cake over here. You know what I mean? So I've always had, like my entire life, my biggest crutch has been sweets. And
What in particular? Any chocolate? Is there a particular sweet that you like?
yeah, so I'm not a fan of like hard candies or anything like that. I wouldn't eat sugar just to have sugar. But like, yeah, chocolates, cakes, soft foods, cinnamon rolls, things like that. Anything that is extremely, like when people say like, oh, this is so rich, like it's very rich, I can only have a couple of bites. I'm like, okay, well, if you're done with yours, pass it over here.
Okay.
Like extreme.
Cheesecake, things like that.
Yeah.
Like chocolate mousse?
A little bit. Yeah, see, mousse doesn't do it for me. But like,
All right, give me like your favorite dessert. Like right now, if you could have any dessert, like that, your favorite go-to every night.
oh, I mean, I would eat a pint of ice cream and a whole chocolate cake to my face after eating a full day's worth of food and not think about it. And I would feel gross after, obviously. You feel disgusting. But going down, you're like, yeah, is there more of this? Like, let's go. Now, I don't do that because I'd be dead. But like if I could and if I knew for a fact that it wouldn't affect me negatively, that's what I would eat. I would probably eat that instead of regular food.
Exactly.
And people say all the time, like, if you could go like salty foods or sweet foods and you have to lose one of them, I'm like, I'll never look at a pizza again. I don't care. But if you get rid of cake, I'm going to kill somebody. You know what I mean? So I don't know how necessarily to combat that. Like if I drop sugar entirely, I'd be
Angry.
not a happy camper for
Definitely not.
for a while.
It can't be about deprivation because the body doesn't enjoy that.
So if it can't have honey, and if the processed sugar is, I'm totally addicted to it. What do I do?
That's a great question. So when it's like an extreme case like
Yeah.
that, definitely you can bring honey in.
Okay.
That you can have.
Like replace the processed sugar with the Manuka
Some
honey?
of it, but what really, remember, you're looking at diabetes. A lot of people are pre-diabetic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now they're, the A1C, they used to do like 5.2 was, now
7 now,
you're now, yeah, it's 7, 8, 6.2. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like they
Okay.
just keep raising
really
the
high.
bar. Like, because so many people are pre-diabetic. You have to stabilize your insulin. So that's what I do. So for you, I would do 3 meals a day. No snacking whatsoever. By the way, this lemon water with the salt in it,
Will
for
help.
you, will be a little annoying in the
Yeah.
beginning.
I sour doesn't. I just I'm
Nope.
like, oh. I
So
can't
what you would
sour.
do, you would do 25 ounces of the water, room temperature, put a teaspoon of lemon, just a tiny bit, and a sprinkle of salt, and then graduate from there. We'll talk about bowels later, but I would put aloe vera juice in there also, just to open it up a little bit more. Your sugar, because your sugar is escalating. There is...
Well, okay. So just to clarify, so I don't eat that much sugar. I'm just saying that if
But you
I
would want to.
could, oh, I do want
You'd be
to.
like, party.
Like all day.
Let's do it.
No, like the little, the Reese's cup peanut butter cups.
Yep.
They have the mini ones, and they sell them in a bag for like Halloween trick or treat. To me, that's
bless
like
that.
to me that's like popcorn during a movie. I could. I don't do it. I choose actively not to do it. But
Yeah, I
if
used to be like that.
left to my own devices, oh my god,
So if you're
there'd be
craving...
tinfoil everywhere.
So if your system is your natural... You just have to like who you naturally are, right? So naturally you love sugar.
Yeah, I
okay?
replace a lot of stuff after dinner these days with like oranges. I'll eat those little cuties or clementines. I ate a lot of those.
So there is a supplement that you should get. It's called berberine, and you definitely can use that. It's a great supplement for that. And you can
I'm
do
listening. I'm just writing this down.
you can do three times a day for at least a month.
What does it do? What am I taking?
It stabilizes your insulin. Naturally.
And does it reduce a craving? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
When you stabilize your insulin, the cravings stop overpowering you.
Yeah.
The key to the kingdom, do I have a pen? I can't even talk without a pen in my
I do the same thing, but he tells me that I'm like, I try to keep my hands down. Otherwise, I'm like this, and you can't see me in the camera.
You're like, "Wah."
Yeah.
So when you take berberine, so berberine is a great, Thorne has a really good one. There's other ones out there, but Thorne really does have a nice one. The key to health is stabilizing your insulin. Everyone should eat like a diabetic.
100% agree.
That's
Yeah,
exactly what you
so
should eat.
just a little quick backstory. I know this was not a show about me and my problems.
No, but I think this is good for viewers because
Yeah.
a lot of people
Well, there's a lot of
suffer
fat
with
people
this.
out there like myself that love sugar. But like, so I'm built like my dad's father. I don't look like my dad or my mom. My mom is very petite. She's built like you, and Alexis a little bit in the middle there. Very healthy, nutrition, all that stuff. My brother's built like her. I'm not built like either of my parents, but my grandfather, my dad's dad, he's a bigger guy. And when my dad was growing up, he would tell me stories that he would say things like, my dad would put heavy cream and then scoops of sugar on top of his Wheaties or whatever. But diabetes is not a thing in my family. Like, I'm not pre-diabetic. I'm not diabetic. I'm saying,
According to the standards now.
standards,
Exactly.
whatever. I don't want to get there. You know what I mean? But I'm thinking to myself, like, as I get older, now I'm in my 30s, I don't want to have tingling in my feet one day and then have them be like, well, here's where you're at. So I just, but the problem is I don't know what to do. So it's nice to have you here. Go ahead.
So thank you. But so how do you turn that spigot off or down?
Which
the thermostat, the sugar spigot.
Oh, it's like I said. So I replace it with a lot of fruit.
So what you do is you turn it down. So fruit is okay because it's got fiber in it, but still you're still feeding the kitty, right? So we say if you feed the kitty, it becomes a lion.
Okay.
So but you can't starve it either because it's too deprivating for the human. You can't live like that.
Right.
You can live like that for a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah,
And
but then
go,
you snap
"Forget it."
back harder.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you feel like a failure,
Yep,
right?
Yeah.
So how do you turn it off? Sour, bitter, and salty will turn off a sugar craving. So you add more sour, bitter, and salty to your food.
Okay.
It will start to turn down the insulin. It will start to turn it down naturally. And then like the elastic, you'll start to get more used to it. And your system goes, I could eat a bite of cake, but why don't I want the whole thing anymore?
Right.
But it takes a little bit of time. It probably takes 3 to 9 months to really turn it off. You can actually turn it off, but you can turn it down within a week. Sour, bitter, and salty.
But what do I replace? So if I'm not depriving myself of sugar, what do I?
And so instead of the clementines, what would be
Like
a
what should I
recommendation?
do instead to kind of
Good. Ready?
satisfy that craving?
Good. How do you sleep at night? Do you
Like
sleep
crap.
Great. I know. Okay, so here we go. So,
She goes, I know.
so here
Go
we
ahead.
go. So salt, give or take it.
Yeah.
Do you like salt, like chips or something?
I get if there's nothing else available.
Okay.
I'd rather have a steak, honestly.
You
And
would?
I would. Oh.
Good. Don't show me, but when you get along with yourself, look to see if you have any red dots anywhere. You gain weight a little bit higher, right? It's not
A
like
little, not
even.
really. I have a pretty flat. I don't have the shelf.
You don't have the shelf,
But I do have a
your
tub.
your weight is not from belly button down.
No.
No, it's a little bit higher, right?
Yeah, I'm a big boy. Yeah,
and you're
upstairs.
only 30 something.
30.
Okay, you're only 30.
Yeah, 31 in a couple of weeks.
Good. So your liver's a little bit congested. It's nothing crazy, but it's getting there, but not yet. Okay, you're 30, which is the body's super forgiving. The lemon water will help you. Putting a tiny bit of salt in that will help you. You'll feel better.
The pink stuff.
Yeah, but you need 25 ounces 3 times a day because you're a bigger guy, and you don't chug it down. The morning you can 10 minutes, fine. 10,
I
15
chug
minutes.
water all day long.
Because you're completely dehydrated. That's one of the reasons you're craving.
It's so.
Sugar.
Can I just say, as an uneducated person in the health field, it is so frustrating to be told, not by you, but it's so frustrating to be told that I'm dehydrated. And I feel like a lot of people get told, "Oh, you're so dehydrated," and all I do is chug water. And I'm not kidding, until about 25 minutes ago, I did not know that it's because the water isn't going into the cells or what. Like, I have no idea. They tell you drink more water. I
Right.
drink water like I'm a
I'm surprised I haven't
a
told
swimming
that.
pool. It's crazy. It's just crazy. I don't
That's
know. Go ahead.
exactly right. You're going to see a huge difference. Your cravings will go down because what are you putting in? Sour and salt
Right. And it's
you
not
know,
necessarily
for
about the
sour-
flavor. It's about the way it goes
from
in
the
the body.
lemon.
Just from lemon.
Yep, you only need a little bit, especially if you're really, I call it sugar baby. If you're really a sugar baby, you only put a little bit in. You don't need that much. Eventually, you can increase it if you want to. But if you're drinking a lot of water, you're peeing all the time. Remember, you're flushing electrolytes and potassium. If you flush potassium out of your body, you know what you're going to be craving? Sugar.
Because why?
Because your body needs potassium. So your body's going to be looking for potassium through sugar. It'll find it one way or another. It'll go find it. Remember, it robs Peter to pay Paul.
Right.
It will go find it. It's a dog with a bone. It really is. So how do you fix that?
Right.
You put the lemon and salt in your water. Just try it. Try 3
Oh,
days.
I will.
Watch,
I won't have a choice once this comes out. I'm going to go home and get told.
Yeah.
The handcuffs will go on.
Honestly,
Trust me.
do it for 3 days straight. 25 ounces 3 times a day. At night. So let me give you a little recipe. Do you like cashew butter? Are you a nut butter kind of guy?
I'm a peanut butter person, but I eat cashews. Like if I have a bowl of cashews, I'd eat them.
Okay, good. And salt, you like a little bit, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
What about bananas? Do you like that?
Yeah,
You're
magnesium.
going to love this recipe.
Right before bed,
it's amazing.
I have been eating with my clementines. I'll have like a banana right before bed because I'm told the magnesium helps me sleep because I sleep like crap.
Okay.
That's why I do that. Go ahead. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. These are like little home remedy things that
Well,
people
it's
say.
your sleep. You'll know if you sleep or not.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So, what time do you go to bed at night? Ish.
Sleeping or laying in bed watching TV?
Laying in bed watching TV.
Oh, 8:30. I'm usually laying down.
8:30. And you sleep what time?
Sleep probably around 10:30, 11
so,
o'clock.
So
and
that's
then I'm
like
up
your
at 6.
wind down time.
Yeah, calm down, watching, zoning out, not answering texts. And
Get out of
going
your
crazy.
head.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So let's see. So 8 o'clock, right? Around there. Take 1 banana. And by the way, you have to buy organic bananas. One, they're more delicious. So it's got the number 9 on it. You know, just buy organic. Himalayan salt. Going to put this on a plate and put a heaping tablespoon of cashew butter on there.
On the banana.
Why cashew versus peanut?
Good, because cashew is really good for the adrenals, and peanuts grow on the ground, so they actually have mold in them.
I was going to say.
And there's nothing you can do to get rid of it. You can't clean them, steam them, you can't do anything, so you just don't eat them, you know?
Cashews, okay.
So cashew butter,
Interesting.
and the combination of the 3 will put you into adrenal quiet, and you'll sleep better that night.
I will literally do that tonight.
So this is how you do it. You take the banana, right? You take a little bite of the banana. You dip it in the salt, literally. You put the cashew butter on it, and you eat it until it's all gone.
And you get the sweet from the banana, and you get the salty.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
Everything.
Yeah.
So it's the combination of all of it will bring the adrenals very quiet, and it's got some good fat, right? It's got some fat, it's salt. It's got the cashews are going to be quiet, but the cashew is fat. The body needs so much more fat than we give it. It really does.
Right.
Your body's going to be very quiet. You can even have that for dessert.
I would. Yeah, it sounds great.
It's delicious, by the way. It is, but it works.
How do you feel about, so my kids love sweets too, right? So I always try to find alternatives. So I was taking dates and putting dates on a pan and like flattening them out. And then I would put peanut butter. I mean, not peanut butter. I would put banana on that. And then on top, I'd put cashew butter and then like a little tiny layer of dark chocolate.
Okay, so I was just going to ask because I'm so, I'm always looking for the
And then I would
thing.
stick it in my freezer and then it turns into like a bark.
Beautiful.
And I give them like a little piece of that and I'm like, we're not going to have junk, but you can have like like my kids for fun will eat dates. Like that's what they love to snack on dates. Because I'd rather them snack on that. I don't buy I don't buy chips. I buy like, I'll make a lot of tortilla chips, but like I don't buy like the Cheez-Its and the bullshit. I'll just make it myself.
Yeah.
But is that snack technically balanced and okay then? Like as a sweet treat snack? Like
That's
not all the
tremendous. Are
time.
you kidding? That's really tremendous. Do your girls have bowel issues at all?
Well, they had the stomach bug recently, so I feel like we're still getting
What
through
about
that.
normal? Their normal way.
It's been all right. It's like up
the
and
older one?
down. She's finicky.
She is.
Yeah, very finicky.
Okay. Does she struggle go to the bathroom a little bit that you've noticed?
Well, right now we're potty training, so we're like anti wanting to go to the bathroom.
Right. That's always exciting.
Well, she like pooped on the potty one time, and the way we have like my husband's tall, so we have like a taller toilet, and when she did it, the water splashed her butt, and she won't go on the toilet anymore.
got
So
it.
we're like petrified right now. But lately, it's just been kind of like diarrhea-y lately, the soft. So I didn't know if it was because of the stomach bug or I was going to parasite cleanse them again because I was wondering since they've been outside, it's been so muddy. So it's like really hard to keep the grounds where the animals are like perfectly clean. So maybe it was something from that. But I haven't figured out their GI lately because it hasn't been solid. So I give them like a little sweet treat.
How do
just to,
you
like, help them.
how do you parasite cleanse? What do you do? And you said 4 times a year you do?
Yeah. So there's a couple different companies that I work with, but Rogers Hood Apothecary has like a whole
Have you seen anything come out?
yeah,
What have you seen?
like small little ones.
Little worms?
Yeah.
Okay. Every time you do it?
No. Like the last year I saw it once. This year I saw it once. Like it's always like once a year I'll see something.
Once a year.
Yeah.
And they're very small, right? Your kids?
3 and 2.
I would do it only once a year. That's too aggressive for them.
Okay.
If that were my babies, once a year would be fun. Even though you live on a farm and you live in dirt and they eat the
They're
chicken.
outside. They're
you know?
outside. Like I think a lot of it stems from my mom because my mom was petrified that my kids had salmonella poisoning because they're like picking eggs all the time. I'm like, Mom, people lived on farms for years. Like
Yeah.
this isn't like a new thing. Not everyone's doing parasite cleanses because they think I'm like
Most people never do a parasite cleanse.
So I mean, I try.
But they're small. They're small.
Yeah.
So you want to, when they're small, they're learning whatever you teach them. That's what
Yeah.
they're learning. Like I got parasites, whatever. And
Well, I
you
don't
just-
tell them.
Right. So that you do
Because otherwise it would be like
I would
a
do
drama.
it once a year unless you start to get itching or anything like that, or if they start to get rash anywhere, and then you maybe do it twice.
Do you think rashes on the hands? That's like a telltale sign.
It depends. It depends on the person. It depends on them. But I think you're doing a great job, by the way. You're very busy.
I am.
You are a good woman.
I try. Thank you.
She's a good woman and a good mother. She's
Very
fantastic.
high level.
I try.
And by the way, that date thing is spectacular. I would put chia seeds in that. They won't even know they're there.
Okay.
But now that fiber is going to help, right? And it's got
Okay.
6 grams of protein in a teaspoon. That will help them.
See, my Olivia, so Sophia's like an orange kid. She'll eat 6 orange, so the clementines. So Sophia, that's like popcorn. She'll have 7 of them at a time. But it's because she hides them. Like she's a little she'll take them and she'll hides them and then I'll find her in her
That's funny.
closet. She eats them. But Olivia's the opposite. My older one is a lemon freak. She will suck a lemon like an orange all the time. And I'm like, why are you craving these weird
That's your older
things?
one?
My older one.
Does she like salt?
Yeah.
She does. That's why she's doing it. She wants the sour, so give her more salt.
Okay.
Like a lot of salt.
She loves tortilla. I make them at home, but she loves tortilla chips I just put pink Himalayan salt on them.
and she loves them.
Loves-
Lick.
Yeah, she'll just sit there and lick it.
She will, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So
Is that like bad though?
No, it's perfectly fine. No, you're great. You're doing great. You really
my
are. No, you're doing great. It just means, remember, everyone's different. Same mom and dad, different human,
Yeah.
right? It's just the way it goes. Everyone's different. So
Yeah, their dad's the complete opposite. He
Yeah,
was
it's just
eating,
the way
up
it
until
goes.
we were like living and really together. He was on the bachelor diet of like fast food and everything, and now he can't even go to a restaurant and eat because he goes, I'd rather you just make me dinner at home because I just like how you cook.
it's fabulous.
So I mean, we're getting better.
Yeah.
But I try. It's the ice cream for him that I'm like trying to. I also bribed my kids yesterday to get in the car with an ice cream sandwich because I was like, I'm so done.
Thank you for not buying tofu and the soy ones. I really appreciate that.
No, honestly, I think that
Don't
like you
ever buy
said,
soy. Don't ever give your
we don't
kids
do
soy.
any-
No, by
any
the way,
soy.
no soy and no cow dairy. In my practice,
Really?
none.
See, I'm
Zero.
a big raw dairy fan.
If it's raw, unpasteurized, unhomogenized,
Yes.
well, now you got the magic bullet. Most people can't find it
So in Mass, it's illegal, which is ridiculous.
unless it's sold on a farm.
Yeah, no, you can't even now.
You can. I buy
so-
it down in Westport.
Do they let you now?
Yeah, I
So-
buy it. We call it baby milk. I bring it to my grandchildren.
That is crazy. So all these farms around here, right? They're all going bananas because they're all into this regulation where you can't sell raw dairy. But New Hampshire, where I live, you can do whatever the hell you want. So I go. My goal is by next year to have my own dairy cow because I want to know exactly what goes into
so
this cow.
great.
Yeah, I'm a nut. I want to know like on my chickens. Like I don't buy the chickens that we raise for meat are not. So like when you go to the grocery store, they're a breed called Cornish cross chickens, which I think are super unethical because from the time they're born to the time they die is 8 weeks. They cannot reproduce. They're a genetically modified breed.
Shoot.
So how can you say this is organic, non-GMO when the breed that you're feeding them is a genetically modified breed? So the breed that we raise
What a world we live in.
Isn't it weird?
Yeah.
Disgusting.
So what? And they're gross. Like my friends raise them for me, and we call them sea monsters. Like they're just a gross chicken. Like they're
Really?
not.
They're not like the cute little chickens running around.
No, I could show you. I have 200 of them. They have cute chickens.
Wow.
Like these ones are gross. So what we raise is Jersey Giants, which are these big fat black chickens that run around. They have a
Really?
good old time, but they're a dual purpose bird. So they can naturally they have eggs, or you can use them for meat. They can breed on their own. They're not like
that's
missing
cool.
feathers and like bleeding from their orifices, or they can't live. Like you can't even have a Cornish cross chicken live past 10 weeks. They will die from heart failure.
Wow.
Like they're not meant to live. When we first moved to my house, the guy gave us all his chickens, and he had this Cornish cross that was like 10 months old, and she couldn't walk because her body, they get so fat so quickly that they can't support.
GMO'd, yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
How long did the black ones last?
We typically I would typically slaughter them around like 6-7 months. You could do it.
Do you slaughter them?
Yes, we do all our own processing.
You do?
We'll be doing all our processing. It's not as bad as
Chicken with your head cut off, right? Run.
So no, my grandmother, she grew up on a chicken farm,
Yeah.
and she was like, yeah, when I was a kid, my dad used to like cut the heads off and let them run around. We don't do that.
Okay.
They go
Traffic cone.
They go in a cone.
I think your
yeah.
daughters might freak out. Like, what is that?
So they
Not her youngest one. Fifi would be like,
No,
give me the knife.
Fifi doesn't care. She'll eat eggs, right? My Sophia will eat eggs, loves them. My daughter Olivia will not.
Younger one.
Older
The older will not.
will not.
Got it.
But I truly believe that's because we hatch a lot of our own chickens.
Okay.
So she grew up seeing these eggs in an incubator turn into babies, and they were these cute little chickens.
What does she eat?
Olivia, she sucks at eating. She's the
What's her
worst.
favorite thing? If she
Fruit.
could have anything, what would it be?
Oh,
Fruit.
anything.
Yeah.
Sugar.
Sugar.
If she had her way, and she goes to my mother's house, but they're a big grilled chicken. We eat a lot of Greek salads. My family's Greek, so we do a lot of like feta, olive oil, Greek salad. She'll eat cucumbers like they're going out of style. That's her.
Does she like the sour cucumbers?
Yeah, she loves pickles. Oh my God. She'll eat an entire jar of pickles and then look at me and be like, Ma, do we have another one? I'm like, no, we can't eat that. Sophia, she'll eat anything.
Does she sleep well?
Now?
How
Yeah.
about before?
I mean, my kids always slept good. Olivia was always a good sleeper. I didn't really have an issue. They would go to bed I put them in their room around like 8:30. I hear them chit-chatting because I share a room. So I hear them
Cute.
chit-chatting, and
That's so cute, though.
They're like, they have bunk beds. So like I can hear them saying like, I can see you on the top. And like, they're so cute. And then by 9:15, they're out.
Okay.
And they don't really wake up until the middle of the night or anything.
Do they
like
have
that.
little circles under their eyes? The older one?
No,
Puppy?
maybe a little.
Okay.
Why? Ooh, tell me.
We'll talk later.
No, I'm so excited because I feel like this is something that like.
She has, she lives in fight or flight.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's her. She can hear everything.
She's super nosy. She's me. Like when I tell you like this child is me, it's like scary.
It's a blessing when you get you. You're like, what?
No, I'm like,
I
don't
know,
be me.
I know.
Like you don't want to live
Believe
like me.
Yeah, I totally get it. She just lives in fight or flight. She needs a lot of exercise. That one.
Yeah, she loves outside.
Yeah, she needs to run a lot. She's probably pretty strong.
Yeah.
She needs a ton more salt. Give her a stupid amount.
Okay.
I mean, like, go crazy. Give her a lot. And like I told you, put like a little dish near her plate and go, it's free. The other one will want it too. That one won't have too much.
Sophia
this
will-
one might do this. And you'll see. And a couple of days of that, she'll feel
She's
much
also
better.
like everyone says that terrible twos is a thing. I don't believe that.
Yeah, no.
3 is the worst. She is a brat. She's so mean, but it's only to me. Like she doesn't do it to anyone else.
She needs to be seriously grounded.
Yeah.
You need to ground this
thought you were
kid.
going to say
Like
you need
in
to
her room,
slap her.
like
Slap her into next week.
No, so it's funny you say that, right? So I said to Rob last night, I was like, I don't like this, like today, for example,
Yeah.
would not get ready for me, would not get ready, and I was like, and the whole like I'll take this away thing, she don't care, she don't care.
No.
So I'm like, all right, we're done with that. I'm not doing the stick of chats anymore. She doesn't care about surprises or anything fun. My little one. My little sweet Sophia, I'm like, Mommy got you like a new. If I give them a surprise, always like a craft. They love coloring and all that stuff. So I got them like new paints or whatever. Sophia's like, oh my God, Mommy, I'll get dressed for you. Great, no problem. Olivia wouldn't walk to school today. I literally held her upside down, carrying her into school today. And she's like, I'm not going. But they won't eat breakfast anymore. refuse. They'll have an apple or like an apple, a banana, a clementine, and that's it.
Have you heard of the book, the 5 Love Languages?
Yeah.
Have you ever read that book?
Yeah.
Find out which one is your older one. Because
She's good for my husband.
It's not gifts.
Hates me.
It's not gifts.
No.
Because, no, it's not that.
No,
she could care less.
Gifts. Sophia's like, yeah, give me
It could be on quality time.
Yeah, that's what she likes. I mean, I could tell you that. I know that with her.
So if it's quality time, you just spend more time with her one-on-one without distraction. Even 10 minutes will fill her tank.
See, I think that's my problem is they're always together. They're never separated.
Pay attention to that one in particular without you multitasking, going on your phone or cooking, or you know how we multitask because, I don't know. You own a company.
Yeah, I do.
Couple of them. You run a farm.
Yeah.
And you have 2 small children.
Yeah.
And we're going to have another one.
I know.
Okay. I mean, you're a little busy.
Just a little.
So if it's quality time, that you need to put one-on-one, like read a story only to her. Okay. Only to her. And 10, 15 minutes, it'll fill her up.
So I have to plan it.
You have to plan it.
Because Sophia,
so you just figure it out.
It's like, and Olivia will call her out. Olivia will be like, can I just sit with mom?
Do you hear what she just said?
She's like, can I just sit with you?
She just needs quality time. That's going to fill her up.
And that's why she loves being with her dad. Because her dad definitely favors her 100%. But I also think that's because she's older and he can be like, Olivia, go get this. And she'll do it.
Do they spend a little quality time together?
They're outside. Sophia's the opposite. Olivia wants to be outside 24/7.
Okay.
She's my outdoor girl. She's a chicken queen. She has her best friend Karen is her favorite chicken.
That's funny.
Oh
that's
yeah,
cute.
I can show you
kids?
pictures. I could show you pictures of her little chicken family, and then and she's never cold. Olivia can go out this morning outside and with no clothes on and was outside feeding chickens with just rubber boots on. Yeah, 30 degrees outside.
She's seriously cool.
Doesn't care. Sophia, opposite. Sophia's like, Mommy, can we just watch a movie? I'm freezing. I'm cold. But Nick always makes fun of me because Sophia is such a hot. She's all cute, but should cut you in 2 seconds. She's just not there's 2.
So I call Sophia my bodyguard. She's 2 years old. I love her. She's amazing.
She'll tell you straight up. She's like, you're not doing that. She's very into that. But I spend more time with Sophia because I'm always so busy. And this is guilt. I feel like this is mom guilt. You feel bad. You always spend more time with another one. But I try, if I can't spend time with her, Olivia's always with her dad outside. Yesterday they were building a roof for a duck pen.
Quality time.
Yeah. She stole all the nuts that he had to build it, put them in her pocket. And we went to the grocery store yesterday.
That's funny.
And she was like, Mom, I dropped one. I go, what did you drop? I look on the ground. It's a little nut. I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, I took them from Dad. He can't finish without me. I was like, oh, okay.
You see what you just said?
Yeah.
That's why. She needs 10, 15 minutes alone with you.
Okay.
Bring him in the car, put the other one down for a nap, something and you stop what you're doing. It's not 5 hours. She doesn't need that. She just needs.
Should hit me.
She already told you, can I just have mom alone when I read a book?
I feel so guilty now.
Oh, hey, they're not 12. You got 10.
No, yeah, they're fine.
Welcome to motherhood. Okay? It's just the way it is.
And you're so right. There's so many conflicting things you read online, how to discipline your kid. I don't think gentle parenting works. This whole bullshit that people are doing now. That's just my opinion.
And every kid is different, though. You could look at my youngest daughter. If I yelled at her once, she's 29. I yelled at Julia one time her entire life. You know why? Because she's not perfect. She's a gentle little soul. Beautiful, gorgeous, red flaming hair. Both my daughters.
Love it.
Gorgeous green eyes. They're beautiful.
Oh.
So she, one time she did something and I was like, Julia, like I would the other two. And she went.
Petrified.
And I went, I can never yell at her. I've never yelled at her ever again. Ever again, because that just really hurts her. Mm-hmm. If I want her attention, I have to just talk to her. The other two, I could slap them upside the head, right?
Yeah, but
that's just the way you have to read your kid. And your older one, she wants quality time with you, and you have to give it to her. 10, 15 minutes a day. You don't need to have an hour, honestly. You don't even have an hour. So it's...
I could make it work.
But you kind of find out this is our groove. This is what we're going to do. The other one cannot be a part of it. She wants you all to herself.
So I recently just started...
And that will make her decompress, by the way.
That's what I think, and she's just stressed, which is crazy
totally
to
right.
think that
no,
you're a 3-year-old is stressed out.
No, you're absolutely right. You read people so well.
But I think
you really do.
she sees my stress, or she'll hear me on the phone and she's like, Mom, what happened? But I think now too, they're like extra stressed out because I've had such bad morning sickness and they don't leave me alone. They know how to pick the lock on the bathroom. So they're like, Mommy's choking. The baby in her belly's hurting. And they're like, do you need water? Like they're worried. Like they're actually worried that there's something wrong. But there's nothing I can do. Like I can't hide outside and be puking outside, because they'll follow me. Like they don't care. So I think that right now everyone's just like a little nervous as to what's going on. But I don't know how I'm nervous for this baby to come. I don't know how they're going to do. I think Olivia's just going to pick up the baby and take it with her and bring it outside. And, I won't see this kid ever, but
your girls are very nurturing, and if you had a herd of boys, they wouldn't care. They would be upset.
Nick thought I was having a boy. He was like all on,
but they would go play.
I'm still convinced it's a boy.
They would go play. That's what they would do. Yeah. The girls would, Mommy, can I help you? What's going on?
Yeah. Every 2 seconds, even when you want to just get something done.
They might think it a boy, but they'll never do it. But girls will do that. It's just the way it is. So right now you're in that sweet spot. It'll be, once you're 6 months, you know how your body changes.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'm pregnant, but I'm okay.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I would give your older daughter salt.
Okay.
And 10 to 15 minutes, carve it out alone.
Okay.
It will completely get her quiet. You're right. She's just living in fight or flight.
Poor thing.
Yeah, but it's okay. And then just bring her down. Like have a little thing of salt and see how much she eats. Just watch. Don't even say a word.
What are like the 5?
She can have as much as she wants, by the way.
There's no negative effect of too much
She'll
salt?
stop when she's done.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are like the 5 foods you would recommend for parents to like feed their young kids? Is there like special foods that you would recommend for them?
Good question. It depends on the kid. Like olives, if kids like really good olives.
I wish I liked them.
Yeah,
the only Greek that hates
I don't like them either, and you got Greek children. So
I know.
Olives would be great, especially for your older daughter. They're filled with salt. She probably will love them. If she likes pickles and cucumbers, sour, that kind of thing, she'll love that kind of thing. Vegetables, always. Even when my kids were young, vegetables number one.
See, I always read a lot about how they're not good.
Oh, they're amazing. But they really should be cooked or just like steamed or something. I put a ton of fat on my food. A ton of it.
Are you a big butter fan?
Not butter at all.
Really?
What do you use for fats?
Ghee. Only ghee. Okay. Clarified butter. Oh. No, because it comes from a dairy. So even if it's
raw butter?
Even if it's raw, it depends on the person. If somebody has like IBS or anything like that, they should have 0 dairy, 1,010%. Any bloating, you get it. Even if it's organic, grass-fed, grass-finished.
Yeah.
Right now you pull it out and you see if I have better bowels, this and that. I use goat kefir.
Okay.
I just tell this is what we're going to use. Instead, I love yogurt. A lot of people love yogurt.
My kids love yogurt.
I love yogurt too.
If you like yogurt, give them goat yogurt. Goat kefir.
I just got rid of my goats.
Trader Joe's has it for $5.29. I tell all my people, go to Trader Joe's. That goat kefir is unbelievable. It's got 7 pre and probiotic in it. It's amazing. It weighs a ton. It's like upper body exercise. It's great. But that's going to feed the gut, especially for your older daughter, especially. Okay. She's very on. She knows what's going on.
Yeah,
she's like nosy. That. And she's looking for salt. If she's looking for salt, she's going to be very intuitive. She can feel the room. Mm-hmm. She's not in her own little bubble. She's feeling everything. If somebody craves salt, that's really their personality. So you can use that to foster that. Okay. And then they usually go into some kind of a healing, profession, ministry. Yeah. Become a doctor, become something that I feel for you. I can feel your pain. What can I do with that?
I can't imagine thinking now, obviously you can't tell what your kid's going to do when they're older, when they're this age. But I always wonder, I really wonder what you're going to end up like. Sophia could go one of 2 ways. She's either going to run a company or run a jail, in the jail. There's one of 2 ways.
But she'll run something.
She'll run something, whether it's in prison or out. I don't know. But she is.
No, businesswomen, huh? Do we know any?
Yes. And my mom is the exact same way I am. Fight or flight. My mom also suffers from severe psoriatic arthritis. So inflammation is not her friend at all, but she has a ton of it.
All over the body?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can she walk?
She can now. Well, she always was able to walk. She has Shulman's disease too of her spine. So she's always had these crazy, like, inflammatory issues. So I try to have her listen to me, but like, she's like me. So like, it doesn't exactly.
You're the daughter. What do you know?
Yeah,
You're 12.
Exactly.
You're always going to be 12. by the way.
Exactly. That's
I'm
what she says.
62. I'm still 12.
Yeah, my mom's turning 62 this year.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's like she's tried every diet. She can't take GLP-1s because she's always trying to lose weight, right? That's always been her thing.
Where does she gain the weight?
Kind of everywhere.
All
She's
over?
a very kind of everywhere. Definitely fight or flight. Always been the person who was the provider. Was always that person.
Got it.
So stress in her are just
Anytime
natural.
you get an itis, it's
Yeah.
because you lived in fight or flight.
Yeah.
Always.
I always say it's
Even if it's
inflammation.
genetic. Remember, genes only 10 to 20% of you. You can turn the lever on or off.
Yeah.
But if you live in fight or flight, you're going to get an itis, any of the itises.
Yeah.
That's why you get it, because you live in fight or flight for too long. Because the
Okay.
body has to, remember, robs Peter to pay Paul. It has to rob another organ to repair this other organ. It has to do it. So both organs go down. Like someone that has a thyroid issue, you don't just wake up one day and go, oh my God, I have a thyroid issue. The reason, 99% of the reason, unless you get choked in your
Yeah.
thyroid, or you don't have one, which is nobody. If you have a thyroid issue, you first had an adrenal issue, and your adrenals lived in fight or flight for so long that it goes, hey, Mr. Thyroid. It only borrows from the thyroid.
That's so funny you say this because she literally just got prescribed medication for
I'm
her.
not surprised, okay? 62,
Yeah.
which is pretty good. She must have a very, very strong mind to hold herself for so long. She seems like a very strong woman.
Yeah.
So when you live in fight or flight for so long, your thyroid has to give it up, has to give some nutrients. So now instead of the adrenals going like this and the thyroid up here, that now they're kind of both like that. And that's when you start to develop a thyroid issue. It's because you lived in fight or flight for too long.
So what type of foods would be good for people that have this, like any sort of itis with high inflammation like that?
lemon
Lemon and
and
salt.
salt, believe it or not.
She's big on TikTok right now. My mom believes all the TikTok trends, which drives me
You know you do.
absolutely mental because she's always trying to tell me this new thing. And I'm like, yep, I already knew that, Mom. Like, okay.
So what I give people that have a thyroid issue, I give them nascent iodine.
Okay.
I'm a huge proponent of it. I love
on the skin or
in
ingesting
the mouth,
it?
ingest it.
Okay.
We play a little game in the office.
I'm coming to see you. This is
Yeah, you
just,
should definitely come in.
I'm so excited, but I don't want to. I don't want to take all your time, but I do want to go over the supplements that you do have
yeah,
today.
okay. I was going to bring my iodine, but I ran out.
I'll have oregano. Do you like the oil of oregano tincture more than the pill?
I love them all, but most people can't do that. So what do we have here? So I have, let's start with magnesium, right? So
What kind though? Which one?
thank you. So everyone needs magnesium. There's 5 different kinds. And so each magnesium, as you know, does different things in the body,
Absolutely.
right? So I'm like, pizza, can someone make one as a blend? Oh, they must have heard me at North American. This is all of them in one.
I love it.
It's the only one I use now. I don't even use glycinate. I don't use any of the other ones anymore.
Are they safe for pregnancy?
Amazing.
Because I hear so many conflicting things about that.
Beyond. This is a great company, by the way. A great company. So
How
this
often do you
is
take
the only magnesium I have in the company now. It's the only one.
One
we
or
use.
two a day.
It depends on the person. If they get like foot cramping, if they get crunching at night, if they get cramps at night, if they feel like any itises in the body, it's 3 and 3
Okay.
at day 1. If they have constipation or they get eye twitching, it's 2 and 2.
Okay.
The dose on here, because legally, as you know, they have to put
have
some
a
kind of a dose, but it's not really for everybody. So
Gotcha.
if they have trouble sleeping, 3 at night, you will be very happy. It works amazing.
Okay.
I like things that one-stop shopping.
Yeah.
Go in, fix, leave. That's me.
Just reiterate what's the brand name on that one?
It's North American Herb and Spice.
Now,
It's a great company.
I'm wondering if we can, for the people watching this, we will link everything here. If you cannot get it for some reason, we'll connect it to the Shopify account, and you guys can purchase it through there to make it easier. So I'll work on that this week.
You can do that. They can also go, if anyone wants to talk to me, please don't call me. I'll never answer the phone.
Yeah, I was gonna say she doesn't answer.
I don't answer the phone because
Makes me so pressured.
It is
I
true.
just want to talk to you.
So what they can do is they just go on my website, Best
Do you
Fit
have
Nutrition.
them on for sale on your website?
Yeah, I use Full Script.
Oh, perfect.
I use full script. But
Then
if they
just go
want,
there.
but if they just want to, talk to me about their health and wellness and,
Yeah.
see if they can come in or whatever. Or we do Zoom, obviously all over the world.
Yeah.
So if they go on, they put a free 15-minute in, and then it's banked in my appointment. So I know, okay, I'm going to call this person, and then we chat.
And what's the website called again?
Bestfitnutrition.com.
That's how I'm going to message her
Best
from
Fit
now on. I'm just going to make a free
And
consult.
it'll be
so
linked.
she knows the time.
It'll be
telling
linked in
you.
the description as
Okay.
well of this video.
Yeah.
So probiotic, right?
Yes.
Everybody needs a probiotic. There's 8 quadrillion out there. Crazy, right? So it depends on what they use for a really high level one for most people, which I don't give it to everyone because I cherry pick through them, right?
Yeah.
If they have mucus, we do use something different. This is from Global Healing. You probably know Global
Yeah.
Healing, Dr. Group, right?
Yeah.
I love him. This is the ultimate probiotic.
Okay.
This is an amazing probiotic, and really it does help everyone. It's a little pricey, so some people can't, come up with
You can't put a price on health.
the cash. You really can't. But just so I'm like, okay, like if someone's going to do this,
Yeah.
I'll put them on this and they'll go, okay, I'm much better. If they have a lot of gut issues, this is the first one. And then we back it off and then we do none.
Okay.
None. I don't take any probiotic. I know.
Oh my God.
And I'm elderly. Okay. So what
You're
do we
not
have here?
Shut up.
Elderly.
I'm
she's going
elderly.
to live. She's like 149.
I know.
So vitamin D. Vitamin D
Yes.
is right. It's not a vitamin. It is a fat soluble, right?
Yes.
So when do you take vitamin D? Always at night before
Okay.
you go to bed. Your vitamin D forever. You know how they do it on the blood work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they go, oh my God, 30 is amazing. No. So I think on the blood work it's 30 to 80 or something like
Yeah.
that. Your vitamin D forever should be 85 to 125 forever.
Can I give
Even
that to
while
children?
you're pregnant? Yes, you absolutely can. You give it to them before they go to bed. And these are very small. This is the one. It's a great company.
I'm going to crush it and put it in food.
You can definitely do that, and especially for your older one. And between that and the salt and putting baking soda in the bath, she should sleep much better.
I'm so excited.
It's
I'm
really
gonna
amazing.
Experiment with them tonight.
Yeah, it's really pretty amazing. The woman that told me about the baking soda, I mean, it was genius. So, I mean, it comes in 1,000, whatever. So if people come in and their vitamin D is around 40, 50, instantly I put them on 10,000
Okay.
every night, not forever. And then get them sleeping, their body will go up. In about 3-6 months, they get another blood work. I always tell people, by the way, you probably do the same thing. When you go get your blood drawn, always fast no matter what they tell you.
Yeah.
Don't be crazy. The reason they do that, by the way, is because so many people are sick, they can't see everyone in the morning. That's why. And I'm like, well, don't get your blood work done.
Yeah.
Right? And they go, oh, it doesn't matter. You've heard this, right? Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I don't need. You don't. You
I'm
don't
like,
have
really?
to fast. I'm like,
you don't
but
have
you
to
do.
fast. You kind of do. Yeah, try not to have coffee with sugar on the way in. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So when they do that, they have to get their TSH done, right?
Yep.
T3, T4 would be phenomenal. Your vitamin D, your A1C, and your CRP.
Okay.
That's in addition to the 2 panels that they normally do. That is a very good holistic look at what your blood's doing. The cool thing about the blood is it doesn't lie.
No.
The blood tells the truth. So I read it. Like I teach people how to read their own blood work. I said, you see this margin? See where you're way over here? Yeah, but I'm in it. I mean, no, that's way too low for you. If you combine these 2 things, look at you. That's why it's like that. Let's just fix it. And by the way, if I ever give people iron, which I do. Did I bring iron? Oh, I did. I brought iron. Okay. So I forgot if I brought it. So iron is one of those things because it is a metal.
Yeah.
It's a heavy metal. So and most people it constipates.
Olivia's anemic.
It's just the way it is. Is that your
My older one.
She is. Well, I might be giving you a little present today.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from Vitanica, another amazing company. This is the only iron that does not constipate. The only one. And how do you really test your iron? It's ferritin. Your ferritin number is really your user-friendly iron. Your iron globulins, the iron capacity, is not really your iron.
Okay.
The ferritin is the number. So if she's a little pale and she chews ice or anything like that, then she's low on iron, right? Very simple. So the liquid I'll give to a kid, a very small amount. She's very small, like 3 drops.
Okay.
So, and it's delicious, by the way.
Okay.
This is the one I give some people. If someone has, and we have capsules too, it's the only one I use.
Could I give it to both kids?
Absolutely.
Because
you
I know
can.
one's not going to want to do it without the other one.
Yep. 2 or 3 little drops. They're very small. No problem. Crush it up with the vitamin D. Boom, done.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I can see your mind working.
little concoction.
Right. We love our concoctions, don't we? Mothers, we are the queen.
Yeah, you have to. You have to give it somehow.
Yeah, I would be like, for my older two, I'm like, oh, just shut up. Put it in.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
For my niece who's with me, I'd be like, get over it. Like, I'd like shove it in her mouth.
Yeah,
My two, I'm like, oh, let me mix this for you.
Yeah, now I give in my kids Christmas stockings, I give them vitamins. They're like beyond happy. Because they're so expensive. And they're like, I love this, Mom. And I give each one, their own little
once you
certain
hit 30, like when you stop getting like, when I stopped getting an Easter basket, I was really sad because my mom would give me like things I would use. And then when I went crazy holistic on her, she'd get like, she stopped buying things because she's like, I can't buy you regular toothpaste. You're not going to use it.
Right.
And so, but now I'm like, Mom, like, why can't you buy me? Like, I'll give you a list of the stuff that I like. Like, that's what she could give
That's
me.
exactly what you do.
Yeah. I'm
this
like,
is my list.
This is my list.
Yeah.
And that's my Easter basket. She's like, Alexis, you're 30, chill. I'm like, but
No, I want a basket.
I'm like, I want a basket.
Oh, that's so cute, though. Yeah. I still give my kids a basket. Okay.
See?
Yeah, we do
37, you still do it.
It's just the way it's going to go. Well, Ben, his girlfriend carries it.
There you
When
go.
we go Easter egg hunting, we have game. Everything's a game in our house, by the way.
I love that.
So you have this, right? But there's another one that has a little bit in it for your adrenals. Like if you live in fight or flight a little bit too much, it's very grounding.
Okay.
That's the one I give people that they live in fight or flight, but they're a little low. Their irons, their ferritin's too low. I think the ferritin number is like, I'm probably wrong with these numbers, but 18 to like 250.
Okay.
Like it's a huge number.
Okay.
And they go, oh, you're 20. You're fine. But I'm dragging. I'm pale. I chew ice. I eat my fingernails. That's all low iron.
Okay.
Right? They're just signs of low iron. I have those little dots on, on my nails. You're low in zinc. I know. Don't look at me.
No, I love this.
That's the way
This
it
is
goes. What else
my
do I have?
absolute favorite episode of.
I have been
Really?
telling you this
I
I'm telling you, man.
My favorite?
When he,
No, it's the best episode you've ever done, Alexis. I'm
Thank
just letting
you.
know.
When he came to me, he goes, I need to talk to you. And I said, why? He goes, you need to have
I felt like I
this
met
person.
God. I'm not kidding.
He literally, it was like he had like this out of body experience. He's like, Alexis, you have to have her on your
Oh.
show. And I was like, why? What is she about? And like, not you, but a lot of the people that come to me that are like, I'm a holistic nutrition, they're not.
Sage burners.
Yeah, they're like
Oh,
coming
yeah,
in
yeah.
here and they're like, let me come in and stage the room and we'll set the scene. I'm like, listen, enough with the bullshit. Like this
Don't
is
be sage in my room.
yeah. But like, do you know what I mean? Like it smells like shit. Like no one likes what it smells like. But like people think it's all quackery and they think it's like it's not real. And it's nice to
Exactly.
meet someone who's just like a normal human that's like, hey,
Yes.
you're having this problem, try this. If it doesn't work, great, we'll try something else. But like, let's try this. It's worked for like all the other people I've done it for.
Right.
And it's not, it's more practical. Like you said,
Exactly.
it makes sense. A lot of people look at holistic nutrition or holistic anything and they're just like, yeah, that doesn't work.
Right.
And it's just, it's not the
And they
case.
take 10 million
It's the
things and they have
approach.
to do all these tinctures and they have to make this big thing. No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You really don't. That's why, I have never advertised ever.
You don't need to.
I never have. They just keep calling. They come in. They're like, oh, I brought my sister. Okay, fine.
So what's like a plan look like for you? So they come in, they do a consultation,
Yep. So the consultation is an hour and 15 minutes or a
and
little
they just
bit
go
longer.
over all their problems. Kind
Yeah,
of.
they want me to fix everything, obviously, in the first one. So what I'm doing is I'm listening for, I call it the hot spot.
Okay.
It might be, oh, it's my left hand's kind of thing. I'm like, actually, it's your right knee that actually has a problem. So I'm listening.
That's crazy.
I'm listening for what their body's telling me. So I have a long intake, and I make them fill out a toxicity questionnaire. I bring all their blood work. So I go in my room and I look over everything. Of course, I pray over everybody. I absolutely do. And I'm like, which one? What is it? And then they'll come in and because I read the body, like I can like read people.
Yeah, you look at them and you know.
I absolutely do.
I do the same
Not
thing
that
with
I'm
skin.
whatever, but I actually can.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I do
okay,
the same thing.
it's just the way it goes, right? Yeah, you're like, oh, yeah, I don't think. Oh, yeah, varicose veins. Oh, okay, are they varicose veins? Or blah, 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 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or are
Right,
they
but I
spider
guess Alexis's point, not to cut you off or anything, but you have people that say that they read people and they're like, oh, your aura is this or whatever,
yeah,
blah,
I
blah.
should- yeah.
You're looking at people going, oh, I see you're leaning to one side a lot. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's a big difference. And
It is a big difference. I forgot that people do that.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
The new age stuff.
Right, or you're hunched over a lot, or that kind of stuff is way more realistic than, you're giving me great energy. Like, it's
Yeah.
like, calm down,
Exactly.
That's
So
all.
like for me, for example,
It's really true.
I have
Yeah.
clients that come in, and I had a client the other day that was a total mess when she called me. She comes in and she's like, my face has no hope. And where her acne was, I mean,
honey.
if you're breaking out in your forehead, nose to chin, it's stress, whether it's physical or mental, high cheekbone area, dietary, lower jawline, hormonal, all dietary and hormonal all day. And she goes, is there hope for me? And I go, yeah. I go, this isn't even that bad. Like what's going on? And she comes in with this whole, and I knew like before I even said, I'm like, okay, so what's your diet? Like I ate a ton of gluten. I ate a ton of dairy. I'm like, okay, well, let's cut that down. And then she comes in with all these prescriptions and I'm like, she's like, she's on she never was on birth control, done with having kids. Her husband has a vasectomy, no reason to be on birth control. Slapped on 2 different types of birth control to help control her skin. All these things. I knew exactly what was wrong with her before she even before she even said anything. But I think when we say read people, it's in that sense. It's not saying like your chakras aren't aligned.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I just wanted to clarify because
I don't even know what a chakra is, by the way. Yeah, I don't even
love
know.
it.
I'm not like the Reiki
I just don't want
thing.
people to say anything like about like, oh, this lady, she reads people, the auras and
Yes,
stuff.
Well,
Get
you're not
rid
like
of
a
that part.
Reiki person. I'm not like a huge. Listen,
I'm not
gonna
into
get a lot
Reiki. Anything that affects
I'm
that is not a good thing to do. People ask me that you're the captain of your ship. You can do whatever you want, but if they ask me about certain things, then I tell them and why I tell them why.
I think Reiki
Just the way it's gonna go.
I think that things like Reiki and moving energies are a gift that some people have, and I can believe that.
Right.
But I do not think it's something that can be taught in a weekend class for you to do, right?
Right.
But that's what they do. Like a big thing in skincare right now is matching Reiki and skincare.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's to help clear them and help their energies and burning the sage and all the things.
Seriously?
Personally, I
know
think
this.
it's gimmicky. I do. I don't think it's really going to solve
Yeah.
anything. If it makes you feel better and you like it, do it. If it makes you less stress, you do it. Are you going to see me doing it to my clients? They'll laugh. They'll be like, Alexis, what the hell are you doing? Like they're just not that type of clientele. But that is a big thing right now,
Wow.
especially with pregnancy. A lot of moms doing Reiki while they're pregnant.
That's
which
a terrible thing to do.
I am not a fan of.
Not a fan.
I don't think moving energies.
Thank you. You should not move energy. Your body knows what to do.
My mom is one of those people who is very sensitive to energies, and she's not one of these like quacky people that comes up to you and tells you that your energy's telling her something. She just knows and doesn't say anything.
She can feel things.
Yeah.
That's why she needs salt. You mother.
Insane. Like, and I don't like to get into it. Like I'm that way, but I think that's weird.
Yeah.
But she has this way about her. My house, we were never allowed to have a Ouija board. Like,
Great.
that was a thing.
Yeah.
So now that I see that the people are doing this for fun and it's a part of wellness, freaks me out. Especially with you're a person of faith.
You're inviting the dark side. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And listen, when you invite, they come in. It's a real thing.
I agree with
Have you met people? It's a real thing.
Go to Salem, Mass.
Yeah. It's a real. It's definitely a real thing. Yeah. So we don't do any of that.
Yeah, it's based on food.
Yeah, it's
and herbs.
food, and like when they fill out all their stuff, then they come in, and we go over everything. I have a scale. So we measure, obviously, their weight, their BMI, and all that kind of stuff, their visceral fat, how old the body thinks it is, how hard is it working for you. I've had the same scale at least 26 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it works.
Why not?
I changed the battery and it works. It's great.
Yeah,
it's
buy
awesome.
new.
No, I don't.
If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Well, I always look around, I'm like, I don't need it. And I like things that are simple because I think it's too complicated. People are too complicated. They're running around and they're really disheartened with what's going on.
Yeah.
They go, and now Ozempic and the gang is out. And that's just a whole nother fen that came out. This is going to be really, really bad. I'm very sorry to tell. It is going to be so, it's going to be really, really bad.
Why do you say that?
Because it's artificially reducing inflammation in your body.
Okay.
That's why they have to do it monthly. It's very expensive. It's for rich people.
Yeah, it is.
Normal people cannot afford this, but now they're coming out.
With Medicaid and Medicare are going to be able to prescribe it because they're saying, and
I know.
they have a point to a degree that it should not only be wealthy people that are allowed to be thin.
To take the drugs.
So they're saying, well, we should allow it too. And I'm sure all these manufacturers are loving it. They are loving the fact that Now it's going to be federally funded. It's going to be all given to you. Anyone that wants it, they're giving it to kids that are 6 years old.
I know.
A 6-year-old? Change your diet. And I think a lot of people now, especially with this, inflation and everything, I think it's harder for people to eat healthier. I think that people don't.
You can eat it on a nickel. I teach people to eat it with
people
nothing.
People don't know that. Do you know what I mean?
That's why they love me.
Exactly, because you're
Okay,
practical.
so I have a question.
I'm like, I go to the farm. This is what I get.
So this is America, right? And
Yes.
part of the reason that these GLP-1s and Ozempic and all this stuff are considered a quote-unquote miracle drug to the general masses is because in America we have a culture of
quick fix.
Get rich quick, get skinny quick, get healthy quick, if you know that kind of mentality.
Exactly.
So what I would ask you is how soon do people start saying, I'm sleeping better, I'm I can see that I feel different. Maybe it's not like weight loss specifically. I've lost weight, I've gained weight, I've been much bigger than I am now, and I've lost weight doing, by changing diets and stuff like that, paleo, etc. And with the thing that I liked about paleo, it's very American attitude, is that you can eat as much as you want and you cannot gain weight. Like because first of all, you're cutting all your carbs out immediately. It's all caveman diet.
Yeah.
And I love steak. So I'll eat as much steak, fruit, vegetables as I want to.
How long were you on that?
The first time I was on it for probably like 3 months, but in a month and a half, I lost like 70 pounds. Not changing my exercising habits at all. I mean, I was also extremely unhealthy. It was like I was trying to kill myself. I wasn't, but I'm saying like the way I was eating was like, if you kept eating that way, you're dead. So good luck to you. And then I swapped to paleo, which was, I can eat as much steak and meat and veggies and I'm not a big dairy guy. Like I don't cheese. I don't care, stuff like that. So nuts.
Did you gain any of that weight back?
Yeah, but not all of it. I probably gained. I lost 75 pounds. I gained like 15 back, and I've been in that range since then. And that was 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Okay.
So.
And you said you did it again?
Yeah, occasionally, if I feel like I'm getting a little big for my britches, then I'll go back to paleo.
See, I
and
like
start,
paleo.
Do you have any right shoulder pain?
Right shoulder? No, I'm a lefty, so all of my stress is on my.
But
left
you're right.
side.
Does it ever feel like up here?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, at night, I'll when I relax I feel. You know what I do? I'll be laying in bed, and I'll realize this is the weirdest thing. I don't think I've ever said this publicly, but I'll be laying in bed, and I'll realize that I'm holding my head off of the pillow. Like I'll be so so tense that I'm holding my head off of the pillow, and I'll have to relax, like consciously relax myself.
Wow.
I do that with my shoulders.
When I have
When I
head
off
like
the pillow.
Yeah, when I throw a party, like I love to entertain. When I throw a party and have people over, or even sometimes at the end of a work day, like I am constantly feeling like I have to be, everything's perfect. Hi, can I get you a drink? Can I get you this? Can I, blah, 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 like the host with the most kind of deal. And so at the end of the day, like I really come down really hard every day, even when it's just a boring day with me and my editor, Josh.
You're drained by the end of the day.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm always on. I'm always on. And so at the end of the day, when I'm really done, I'm like, ugh, like it's just my entire body almost shuts down. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's something. Do you when you sleep at night, do you put one foot out of the covers?
Sometimes I overheat constantly at night. Yeah.
Whole body or waist up?
Interesting. Usually, it's my back. I'll put it this way: I cannot be the little spoon ever because I overheat immediately. So I always say like heat comes from the front and goes out my back. So I can't, like if there's two people in a bed, I cannot be the little spoon because I feel like I'm wearing a jacket almost, and I overheat almost instantaneously.
What about your feet? Do you like throw the covers off and stick a foot up?
No.
No. Do your feet get warm?
No, they're kind of chilly sometimes, but not always.
At night?
Yeah, no, not my feet don't get cold really.
No hot.
Sometimes. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I definitely, the leg out thing is absolutely something.
Got it.
Like I'll sleep with the windows open in February. I'm not kidding.
My house was 56 last night because my heat
I love
died,
it. When do I
and
move
it was
in?
the best thing ever.
You love that.
Yeah, I like it to be cold
you.
at night. I like to not have to put a leg out of the covers. But yeah, that's a real thing. I just thought
we can fix all that.
I know we can.
What's like going through your head right now?
You have a congested liver. You have adrenal fatigue.
Probably,
and
yeah.
your thyroid's kicking in.
Because I'm getting older.
No, because you have adrenal fatigue. Eventually, if you were 42, you'd have a little bit of a thyroid issue. But because you're a man, they won't even look at it.
You.
They won't even test you. But I could just look at your throat in 2 seconds and say, oh yeah, you have a thyroid issue.
Do I have lines?
You just know, those,
I'm kidding.
You know those
Swelling
two
in
little
your lymph
lines?
nodes.
You see like some people have thick lines.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
always
yeah.
2 of them. Some people have very faint lines. Some people have no lines. It all depends on the person.
Okay.
In my line of work, we call it tech neck.
What is it called?
Tech neck, because everyone's like this on their phones.
Oh,
They get
okay.
wrinkled. Well, I feel like what would be really cool is if Joan, when Joan counsels you and like walks you through and helps you, let's have her back on the show again. You be consistent with these little things that she
That's
gave
a
you for a
great
month.
idea.
And then we have an episode again that literally talks about
I'm going to the
how-
store right after we're done. I'm not even.
How
I'll give you a list.
No, I've
Yeah.
been writing one down
Okay.
since you've been
I'll
talking.
I'll show you what to do.
Okay.
I think that would be so cool, like a little home team, like wellness pickup, and then go from there. But it was such a pleasure to have you. How do people? So people can just get in touch with you through your website, correct?
Exactly.
For now, we're
For
going to
now,
try and
we're
change
gonna
that.
we're gonna try to get you an We're gonna get you on all the things. I feel like you just need your voice needs to be heard. You are way too smart, and to not share your knowledge, it's like a disservice to everyone. We need to get you out there. But please like and subscribe. Follow us at Real Aesthetic on Instagram. This is gonna go up on Friday at noon. I don't know which Friday, but Fridays at noon we go up. And we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
Message from Mobile.